So, excellent question over on the camera app. And yes, that was me on the Enchanted. So, the short answer is, it depends. So, each cruise line that I work for approaches this a little bit differently. On some cruise lines, I basically get the same stateroom that a guest would get. They're usually the most basic one, and they're kind of usually put in a space that is specifically for guest entertainers, but they're more or less what someone could pay for. Some lines do it a little differently. On some cruise lines, like Princess, we get a private cabin, but they're in the crew area. Let me show you. This is how you get there. So the easiest way to get there is out this door and all the way down there. Once you go all the way forward on deck 7, you get to this door. Once you get in here, you open up this door and you are now in the front of the ship. To give you an idea of where I actually am, I am actually directly behind the theater. Or in front, because that's the front of the ship, that's the theater. It's all relative. Now the guest entertainer cabins and a lot of the entertainment cabins are down this hallway. And this is what they look like. Pardon the mess, it's a little unkempt. Now compared to some of the guest cabins, this is a little more modest. But there are some clear advantages to these cabins. One is that they are pretty big. I've stayed on other ships in guest cabins that are half this size, which is especially good for me in an act like mine because not only do we have a little more space to store stuff, but I have a little more room to do things like prep my show. Not to mention the fact that I am literally steps away from backstage. It is super easy for me to get into the theater and get set up. Whereas on some ships, I've had to basically walk the entire length of the ship just to get to the theater. This cabin is also set up a little better to just exist and live in. For example, we got all kinds of drawers and storage space. We got a great big desk, which is really handy if you have like work and emails and things to answer, big closet, bathroom, and so on. And plugs. I have electrical outlets everywhere. Some of them are European, but still, I got a lot. These cabins are also a little more quiet than some of the other ones I've been on. In cabins in guest areas, there is a lot of foot traffic that passes by the door, and that sound does leak into the room. And a lot of times the guest cabins that we get put in as guest entertainers are in less desirable spots on the ship. For example, they might be above or below the theater or one of the music venues on board. And the walls here, they are not very thick. So if you have loud music or a show above you or below you, that sound comes through real loud. But that is the guest entertainer cabin on the Caribbean Princess. If you have more questions, let me know in the comments.